Good evening and thank you for joining us this evening. This is Beyond Data on TV7. My name is Zainab Said. For the next 25 minutes, we unpack some of the critical social and economic issues currently facing our country. Remember, you can also contribute to this conversation through our interactive social media platforms at TV7 using the hashtag Beyond Data. We start our bulletin tonight with a story that has been on the lips of many Kenyans, the quagmire surrounding the social health insurance, SHA. Teachers are now threatening not to return to class if the standoff concerning the insurance is not resolved. A majority of them, especially junior secondary school teachers, say they can no longer benefit from the insurance despite making contribution. Mildred Otieno filed the following report.
The dispute over the social health insurance has now escalated into a major concern within the education sector. Teachers, particularly those in junior secondary schools, are expressing frustration, saying they continue to make deductions but are unable to access the benefits when they need them most. In interviews, several teachers describe the situation as unfair and unsustainable, warning that they may down their tools if the matter is not urgently addressed. Teachers' union leaders have also weighed in, calling for immediate intervention and clarity on the insurance cover, arguing that educators should not be left financially exposed while contributing regularly.
We want to say that the capping on many of the service providers, by the service providers, on individual basis items on that share is not commensurate to the amount of money we are paying as teachers. If proper communication is not made on all the aspects of our comprehensive cover, then we are downing our tools and we go to the street. Yes. Yes. We better lose our salary than to lose our health. Yes. We better lose our salary than lose our health.
However, even as the teachers voiced their concerns, the government and the Ministry of Education have remained largely silent on the matter. The Ministry of Health, on its part, maintains that the Social Health Authority system is operational and functioning as intended, insisting that reforms are ongoing to improve efficiency and service delivery.
Thank you so much, Mildred, for that report. We are now joined by Dr. Migo, who will help us understand the events surrounding the social health insurance. Are these just teachers' concerns, or are these deeper issues that should worry Kenyans who hope this matter will be resolved?
Disparity results in the different metrics you use to measure success. So officially the government uses metrics like how many hospitals are being built, how much money they are allocating for healthcare financing. But in reality, on the ground we use different metrics. We want to know how many patients are actually treated. Are they actually being treated well? Okay, so that's the reality on the ground. So the difference is the different metrics that we're using to measure success. So the government is measuring success in terms of the amount of money they allocate and the amount and the number of hospitals they are building. But for us on the ground, we want to see how many patients are actually benefiting from our healthcare system. So that's why there's a disparity. So on the ground, we have a big problem in terms of a surge in the numbers of patients being seen in public health facilities, as well as the quality of care in public health facilities.
My next question is, how do we move forward from this?
How SHA works is a health facility treats you and then requests SHA to pay them for the service it has provided you. Okay? So now there's a loophole somewhere. We can have ghost hospitals claiming that they have treated and then they ask for money from SHA. So the most important lesson for us here is to have a very good system of verifying claims. Okay? Even if you're able to apply AI or something like that, let's get a nice foolproof system for verifying claims, a nice claims management system. That would be the biggest lesson for us. If we don't do that, we'll keep losing money to corruption.
Thank you for that. And what can the government do to ensure all these challenges are resolved?
If we want it to work, we just need goodwill from the government, goodwill from the lawmakers, goodwill from healthcare providers, and goodwill from citizens. It's a system that can actually work very well. But currently, as it is, we're in trouble.
Thank you, Dr. Migo. To our next story now. With the increase in urban population caused by rural-urban migration, the demand for water continues to rise, leading to increased borehole drilling to provide enough supply. However, both the government and individuals have been faulted for failing to store water during the rainy season. Can we store enough water? And do Kenyans, especially those living in the capital city, understand the need for water harvesting? Kennedy Rigera with more.
Kenya continues to grapple with a growing water crisis driven by rapid urbanization and unpredictable weather patterns, while heavy rains often lead to flooding in many parts of the country, including major cities. Water scarcity quickly follows once the rains subside. Experts say this points to a long-standing failure in water harvesting and storage system. The situation is further worsened by recurring floods that continue to displace families in several parts of the country, especially in western Kenya. Many households are forced to leave their homes, with children missing school as learning is disrupted and classrooms become inaccessible due to flooding and damaged infrastructure. Communities say the cycle of floods followed by drought is increasingly affecting livelihoods, education, and overall stability. In parts of northern Kenya, however, community-driven water projects are offering a glimpse of hope. In Turkana, residents have praised donor-funded initiatives that have helped improve access to clean and reliable water.
Migogoro imepungua sana. Unajua kwa sababu mbeleni tulikuwa wote tunategemea hiyo mto. Makabila hizi majirani wote walikuwa wanategemea wapi? Huko. Sasa ilikuwa tu vita mingi sana kwa sababu ya mwingine ikifika ya first huyo mwingine itabidi aongoje. Kama hizi ongojea, sasa mgogoro inaanzia hapo. Lakini tulipopata hii maji saizi inasaidia sana. Wanyama wa mifugo zenye zinaishi huko nyuma, aziendi huko tena kwa mto. Zinapata maji hapa hivi. Na isavi ya Waturkana peke yao. Hata majirani wetu hapa wa Meru wenye wanaishi ngambo ya barabara, pia wanakuja wanakunywa maji. Wasomali wanaishi nyuma ya hii msitu iko hapo. Wanakuja wanapata maji. Sasa amani kabisa saizi iko. Hii mgogoro ya kusasana kwa sababu ya maji imepungua kabisa.
Easing long distance shortages and reducing the burden of water collection, especially for women and children. Easing long-standing shortages and reducing the burden of water collection, especially for women and children. Kennedy for Beyond Data on TV7, Nairobi.
To help us understand more on matters water, we are joined by water expert Matthew Perez. The first question to you, Perez, will be, why do we witness floods and then immediately face water scarcity? Is there a solution to this, especially in urban areas?
If we want to get to a point of restoring the waterways, the dried up parts and routes of the water, we have to bring the conversations again of reforestation. And I love what the government of Kenya is doing. It has promised to do what? To plant 1.5 billion trees annually. And in a scale up to 2032, it targets to have planted about 15 billion trees. So I think by doing that, we will get to a point whereby we will no longer be speaking or even whispering about water scarcity, because at the end of the day, it will bring Kenya to a point of 30% tree coverage. And you know, when trees are all over the place, water is no longer going to be a thing of the past.
With budgeting and allocation every financial year, who is not being held accountable?
The greatest barrier, I believe, is intentionality. We have made water a political tool. Every electioneering year, you hear cases, not really cases, but pointers and agendas that when you elect me, I will provide water for you. When you elect me, I'll ensure that water is no longer a problem. So I believe we are getting to a point whereby we have to, you see, what we have is not a crop of leaders. What we have as leaders are politicians. So we need intentional people, intentional subjects to spearhead this whole process. Are people who say, my people have been in this thirst for so long, and it's time now that I do something to alleviate this kind of problem. Intentionality.
On that note, dear viewer, we take a short commercial break. When we come back, we will tell you why stakeholders believe organic farming is the solution to food insecurity in Kenya and Africa at large.
Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. Such shifts can be natural due to the changes in the sun's activity or large volcanic eruptions. Human activities either have been the main driver of climate change over the years. The impacts of climate change are widespread and affect different facets of our lives, among them being agriculture. Climate change influences both short-term crop yields and long-term agricultural sustainability. Technology, as is in most fields, has brought about some good change, and this is also the case when it comes to the agricultural space.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Beyond Data on TV7. Remember, this conversation is live on our social media handles. On to our next story, where with the ongoing disruption among oil-producing countries, a key source in the production of synthetic fertilizers, stakeholders now say it is time for the government to fully embrace organic farming. They claim this is not just an alternative, but the surest way to ensure food security. Mary Wamboi with more.
Kenya's shift toward organic farming is gaining momentum. Concerns over the rising cost and availability of synthetic fertilizers. I spoke to an organic farmer champion who said the idea may face resistance, especially from synthetic fertilizer manufacturers, but insisted that organic farming is the only way suitable path if Kenya is to achieve a long-term food security.
The tension, it looks far away, but it will be felt. There's already a little bit of tension already on our food systems, looking at the fact that Kenya is among the top 10 countries importing fertilizer from Gulf, around 24 to 26%. And you see now if almost 70% of the farmers in Kenya relies on synthetic fertilizers to produce their food, then basically it means that a disruption in the fertilizer prices will translate into the food production costs, which is likely also to increase the food prices, leading to many people also not able to access that food. And that means that the components of the food security, like availability and affordability, is affected. And most probably now that we're already coming from floods to droughts to these global shocks, the situation might worsen if there is no solution to it.
I also engaged an organic farmer who noted that for the sector to grow, the government must go beyond policy and invest in awareness creation among farmers. She dismissed the perception that organic farming is expensive, saying that with the right knowledge and practice, it is both affordable and suitable.
We're already in it. We have years of experience ahead of you who are just beginning. Come and support people like us. We are happy to share the knowledge. You call us, we'll talk. We enjoy it. This is a passion. So look for people who are like that. The government knows how to put us into little cliques of people. And just, if we had every ward one demo farm, honestly, in 2 or 3 years, we would be 50% agroecological. That's what we need. We need somebody who is championing, and that requires support.
Similar sentiments were echoed by advocacy groups who believe the conversations around organic farming is long overdue. They are now calling for strong government support, training programs, and public education to help more farmers transition from chemical-based farming to organic methods.
The danger we are seeing is that, of course, we got the assurance from the president that we have enough supply up to September. But how much can we sustain this? What narrative is the industry getting in terms of fertilizer? These are business people, and of course, everyone wants to maximize on the profit. So when we have already started feeling the pitch in terms of the prices of fertilizer locally.
Reporting for Beyond Data on TV7, I'm Wambui Mary.
Thank you, Mary, for that report. Now, is organic farming sustainable? How does the investment compare to the returns? Earlier, I had a conversation with Bernard Gitau, an organic farmer in Kamulu, Machakos County, and this is our conversation.
As rightly have said, we do organic farming combined with regenerative agriculture. Because organic farming and regenerative agriculture are two different things, but somehow they intermarry. A very good question on how we make sure that we deal with the use of chemicals. And here, chemicals are highly hazardous pesticides. They are called HHPs. And you know, it's a tragedy, it's a crisis in this country. And what I will say is, for a farmer to stop using HHPs, highly hazardous pesticides, we need to go back and relook on the health of our soils. Because soil in Kenya and Africa, the soil is sick. Yeah? Mchanga ni unaugua, tukisema na Swahili. Kwa sababu, over time, we have overutilized our soil. We have used inorganic fertilizer over time. We have used pesticides, herbicides, fungicides over time. So the acidity or the pH of the soil is altered. And most of the soils doesn't have microorganisms. So there is no biodiversity in that soil. So it means that soil is sick, it's dead. You know? And that's why now farmers are contemplating, and they continue to use pesticides and inorganic fertilizer to try and revive their soil, which will not happen if you are going to use inorganic fertilizer and the fungicides and pesticides. So what we are supposed to do, or what we do here at Sapphire Organic Farm, we utilize what we call indigenous knowledge. Indigenous knowledge means those practices our forefathers used to practice and their soil never got degraded or sick. Yeah? They used manure, they used ashes, they used biochar.
Someone would argue that it's a lot of work, going that organic. You've talked about ashes, we've talked about molasses, when we can actually just access whatever we need to kill the pest in the nearby aggregate. What made you like to embrace that?
You see the way I have put everything kwa hii shamba. Hizo planting season zingine sitaweka anything.
Okay.
Nitamwaga tu mbegu zangu and I'm good. I can go for 2 years without adding anything kwa huu mchanga. Ni mbegu peke yake na maji. So if you say it's hard work, it's a lot of work, it's not. Kwa sababu mimi nimetibu mchanga wangu. Umeget? So ni kumaanisha my soil iko healthy na ita sustain mimea for long. Na that's why unaona tumepanga this thing kama rainbow. It's not by mistake. Pale unapata capsicum, hapo unapata spinach, hapo unapata sukuma, hapo unapata terere. So tunafanyanga rotation, crop rotation. So pale kulikuwa na capsicum, unarudisha kitu yenye si the same family. So over time, wewe ututilize your shamba for the longest time. And also, sisi cost, kwa sababu mimi sinunui fertilizer, these substrate za mushrooms, mimi nimeuza mushrooms. Hizi zimemaliza cycle yake na zirudisha kwa shamba. So si kwenda kununua. So nimecut cost yangu ya production ya kununua fertilizer. Goat manure nanunua gunia moja 250. Gunia moja ya manure ya inorganic fertilizer ni 2500. So you see the ratio. So and mimi umesema nakohoa. That dawa tumepiga hapa unaweza tumia bila mask. Hizo zingine pesticides huwezi piga bila mask kwa sababu they are dangerous kwa health ya mtu. You know? Another thing nitakwambia why we need to do this. Kuna report zimefanywa na researchers, utapata. Ball Henrich Foundation kuna research wamefanya mambo ya highly hazardous pesticides. Na uliona juzi minister wa agriculture aliban some of those pesticides. Why? Because that's why we are killing ourselves. Do you know why? Kwa sababu 76%, and it is confirmed, 76% of our food ziko na highly hazardous pesticides. 76%. Now which are those? Vegetables, tomatoes, cabbage, nyanya, mahindi. Those things zimerogwa na those pesticides. And most of those pesticides zinaharibu neuro system, zinaharibu watoto kugrow, inaharibu wamama, inaharibu wanaume uwezo wa kuzalisha ama wanasemanga infertility.
Dear viewer, we are almost coming to the end of Beyond Data, but it will be unfair if I do not read some of your comments and contributions tonight. Raphael Hillary, watching all the way from Karioko, says, the issue with SHA are very depressing. My wife is stuck in hospital after giving birth because we cannot pay her medical bill. Yet we have been faithfully contributing to SHA. It breaks my heart. But what can I do? Another comment from Malia Zawadi says, the instant solution to some of health challenges like non-communicable diseases and even cancer is organic farming. These hazardous chemicals are harming us. Thank you so much for your comments. Keep them coming. We will sample some of them at the end of our bulletin. Now on to our last story, where with the penetration of the internet and innovation enabling mobile money, more and more Kenyans are becoming vulnerable to attackers hacking and siphoning money from unsuspecting citizens. The victims are not just the elite, but also ordinary Kenyans. Kennedy Rugera with more.
The rapid growth of digital banking and mobile money services in Kenya has transformed how people send, receive, and store money. Transactions are now faster, easier, and more accessible, even in remote areas. However, this convenience has also created new opportunities for cyber criminals to exploit unsuspecting users.
It depends on how fast of all you're losing money. If it's through a scam, that's going to be mostly on the person who made the transaction, because the institutions cannot protect you from scammers and all of this. But if it's something that maybe a fault that occurred in their system, and maybe today you wake up, you find your account has lost, let's say 20,000 or 10,000 from your account, that will be mostly now in the side of the company that's handling your information and your money. So let's say you lose money from Safaricom, you have to go to Safaricom, give them your statements, you tell them this is the money I had yesterday, I checked my account, this is the money I have today. Yet I don't have any transaction history in between. So, but if you have the transaction history, you can still report, but now you won't report to Safaricom. You report to either DCI or any other party that's involved in handling.
Cases of phishing messages, SIM swap fraud, fake customer care calls, and hacked mobile wallets are on the rise, with many Kenyans reporting significant financial losses. Experts warn that these attacks are becoming more sophisticated, making it harder for ordinary users to detect fraud before it is too late.
When I look at the future in regards to cybersecurity, it's going to change a lot. As you can, I don't know if you've heard of this, but some of the AI models have halted in regards to shipping. Like, they're not shipping them anymore because they're concerned on security issues that these things are bringing up. So you might find something like Casa, one of the biggest open coding model that's out there, or Cloud Code. They're not shipping newer versions anymore. They've stopped because they found out that in the new models, they can detect all these vulnerabilities in all the systems that we have globally. So we should really move fast, try to keep up to date, and also the companies who are handling our data should also try and move with the new technology that's coming in, the new wave of technology.
What is particularly worrying is that the victims are no longer just high-profile individuals or corporate accounts. Ordinary Kenyans, including small traders, students, and daily mobile money users, are increasingly being targeted and losing hard-earned savings within minutes.
Whenever you're registering on a certain website, make sure you don't give out some financial information to websites that you don't really trust. Or even when you are sending money or doing all these transactions online, you should be very careful and checking, doing a double check to just make sure you're not sending money to the wrong person as well. From what I say, organizations need to heavily invest in their security standards, especially with the wave of AI that's coming up. We'd say most of the attacking is happening via AI platforms. So if someone can just go to an AI platform, if they have just basic knowledge on how these systems work, they can go to an AI platform. The AI platform can churn out a whole code base that's going to help them to attack you. So these companies should really invest on protecting themselves.
Cybersecurity experts say the situation highlights a growing gap in digital safety awareness, even as the country continues to embrace a cashless economy. They argue that while innovation has driven financial inclusion, it must be matched with stronger protection systems and public education on safe digital practices. Kennedy Kigera for Beyond Data on TV7.
Thank you so much for that analysis. And tonight, our expert reminds us that online consciousness is key to our safety, especially during this digital era. Thank you for keeping us company. I can see your comments, but due to time, I will not be able to read some of them on air tonight. Until next time, on behalf of our entire team, the correspondents, camera person, and technical crew, a big thank you to you, our viewer. Let us continue the interaction on our social media platforms at TV7, #BeyondData. My name is Zainab Said. Bye for now.